I've never seen anything quite like this. Kolkata is home to many wonders. Tucked into the city's corners are traditions that run back centuries. And here we have a rich one, Kushi, pehlwani. It's wrestling, but it's unlike any other form of wrestling I've seen.
That's the kind of rules I play by, but you play by different rules, yeah.
As part of my visit to Kolkata, I'm gonna dive deep into this practice, but first, I need to introduce you to the city of Kolkata, because once you get a feel for what makes this city unique, you'll appreciate this practice so much more. Alright, well, I think we're in kind of the intellectual hub of Kolkata right now. We're at the Coffee Workers Co-op, which, if you can see all the people here, I think this is a spot where, if you were so inclined, you could just immerse yourself in a conversation with somebody about any given intellectual topic for hours and just have a day of it. Kolkata has long held a reputation as a hub of philosophy, academics, art, and thought. This coffee house where people could study or discuss complex topics at length is emblematic of this. It's in a part of town full of universities and booksellers. But Kolkata isn't like a high school from a John Hughes movie. The jocks and the philosophers, they're allowed to sit together. Thought and sport are not two separate spheres. They're so integrated that a sport like pehlwani wrestling can be both a spiritual and athletic practice. Across Kolkata's railroad tracks is the Howrah Bridge and its ghats. Ghats are step platforms that go down towards the water. And with so many cities in India being formed around sacred rivers, these become important sites where people rest, socialize, cleanse, worship, and wrestle. The day before my invitation to meet with the mud wrestlers of Kolkata, I had a chance to see the exact area where they practice. With it being one of Kolkata's hottest days, the ghats were full of people going into the water to stay cool. And this is where the training area was for the wrestlers. And the bridge itself is a bit of a local landmark. Most of the wrestlers were done with their activities for the day, but I met the man in charge of the gym, Suraj. The posters around the training area spelled out the significance of this event. I'd come back the next day, but first I decided to spend the afternoon getting acquainted with Kolkata, and I went to the center of Old Kolkata. Some street food was in order. During religious festivals, certain temples will distribute treats around the area, and I was lucky enough to pass by one just in time for a taste of this rice pudding, which was seriously some of the best I've ever had. This is warm.
Yeah, it's a rice pudding. It's good?
Yeah, it has a cashew.
Yeah.
And this is in celebration of the religious festival. Puja? Puja. It had been a hot day, a hot stay for me really in Kolkata, but suddenly it started getting dark. I was about to witness how sudden and strong a summer storm in India could strike. I'm walking my way through Kolkata on an extremely rainy afternoon. It's been hot most of the time I've been here, but now we've got a new weather-related challenge, and it's the storm that has just shown up. I thought about the agenda for the next day, mud wrestling. With all of this rain, should I expect an extra muddy event? There is one local delight that's especially enjoyable in rainy weather. It's Momo time. Hand-drawn rickshaws in Kolkata arrived via the British during the colonial era. The image of being carried from one area to another was one way the British displayed their dominance over locals. After independence, rickshaw pulling continued. It was mostly done by immigrants from East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, and neighboring states. These days, most drivers come from Bihar and Odisha, like this gentleman. While a lot of people assured me that these rickshaws were better regulated than many city bus systems, a lot of activists have criticized the continued use of them. The driver I spoke to said he was pretty miserable doing this work.
हम लोग का बिहार है, हम लोग का तकदीर में लिखा हुआ है क्या करने में मजा आएगा, हम लोग घोड़ा बना हुआ है, घोड़ा टनता है.
So, should they be banned? It's kind of complicated. In 2005, the government tried this. The big irony was that drivers continued to pull the carts because this was their only means of living. Jailing people in poverty for driving was a strange unintended consequence. It does seem like the days of these rickshaws are numbered. Electric alternatives might do what legislation couldn't, put an end to the practice. After that encounter, the rain started to clear up, and it was time to get another bite. Bengali sweets. It's a bit of wordplay. It's equally derived from the people's reputation for sweetness, as well as the fact that Bengal is a major producer of desserts. Confectioners get started making their desserts early in the evening. They'll be cooking syrups and candies for hours to meet the demand of so many people's late-night sweet tooth. I could not let my time in Kolkata go by without indulging, at least a little bit.
This is another very interesting sweet. All these sweets have some sort of milk element going inside them. This has got zero milk, made completely from cashew nuts and cashew milk.
And it's got a foil leaf.
And it's got a foil leaf. This is to extend a bit of royalty to it, premium effect. This is edible silver.
This item was my favorite, ice cream sandesh. First of all, that name is brilliant. It's a pun off of ice cream sandwich, of course, but it lives up to the name.
Oh, it's cool. Wow.
As it melts, it brings out the flavors in layers. First you get the pistachio, then you get the rose floral essence, and finally when it fuses in your mouth, it reminds you of ice cream.
Yes, it does.
Hence the name ice cream sandesh.
I like that name.
I did need to take it easy on the sweets, though. I mean, we had some wrestling matches to get to in the morning, and as usual, we'd be getting started real early. In the summer, the sun rises pretty early. The day heats up early, so people kick it into gear real early. We made our way back to the Howrah Ghats for our look at the Pehlwani practice of mud wrestling.
Good morning. We are on our way to meet the mud wrestlers and to see them in action. It rained last night, so the mud should be extra muddy. Here we come.
Pehlwani is the name of this wrestling tradition. The wrestling clubs here are called akharas, and one of the most noteworthy pehlwans in India's recent history was Jwala Tiwari. His wrestling career peaked in the 90s when he won several medals while representing the state of West Bengal in different tournaments. In the new century, interest in mud wrestling would significantly decline. Younger wrestlers would take up mat wrestling, and pehlwans from old would pass away or retire from the practice without being replaced. Many akharas had to close due to lack of interest, but Jwala fought for his to stay open. He even took a side job as a parking attendant for a little while to do so. Today, the Sierra Akhara Vyayam Samiti is one of the last remaining akharas still running. Last January, Jwala Tiwari passed away at 65. His legacy, along with the akhara, have been passed on to his son, Suraj, who was raised in the company of the Pehlwani. It's a pretty big legacy to live up to, but if one of the biggest challenges ahead is keeping the sport alive for a next generation, then it belongs in that generation's hand. And despite being so young, Suraj has already developed a presence that demands respect. I had the chance to talk to some of the mud wrestlers and hear their stories. Many began practicing the sport as children and have been doing this for decades. This wasn't always the case, though.
What is your name?
I'm Sumandas.
Sumandas?
Yeah.
How old were you when you started?
What?
Your age?
39.
39? And when you began your practice?
Yeah.
Started it right now, like I'm 39.
Oh, okay.
I have just started.
You just started?
Yeah.
How is it so far?
It is near about 7 kilometers from my home, and I came here. I come every day here by cycle.
Oh. What made you decide to begin?
I am doing yoga from 2002. So after that, I feel that I have to come here, and I want to lose some weight, and for that reason I came here.
Okay, so this is like your next step after yoga.
Yeah.
There you have it, a 39-year-old rookie. I've seen people use these sorts of weights before, old school clubs and barbells, but I never quite knew how to actually use them, so I had to ask for a little demo. Okay, as soon as I tried this out, it became obvious how good of a bicep workout this was.
Like it?
Yeah. Now, the wrestling portion of this sport is more straightforward. If you've ever wrestled or watched wrestling, you'll catch on quickly enough. But the ceremonies and the preparation were where things got unique. This is a discipline about mind and body. There are some ground rules. Number 1, matches are dedicated to Hanuman, the god of dedication and devotion. He's also the patron deity of Hindu wrestling, and every Akara doubles as one of his temples.
This is the Lord Hanumana. This is the power, he belongs for the power.
Okay.
He belongs for the power. He's our god of power. He's a monkey man. Monkey man, power of God.
And so this is a practice of the power?
Yeah. Practice of power. Not look like physics, not for 6-pack, 2-pack, body. This is only for the power. People come to power.
Second, the mud here is considered sacred. So if you're even going to set foot on the mud, you need to be wearing one of these loincloths. This was a thrill to watch. Oh, and hold up. A new challenger has entered the arena. That's right. I had to try my hands on it myself. Let's see who I'm going up against. Wait, Siraj? On my first bout? I feel like this is the equivalent of putting in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and having Mike Tyson be the very first match right off the bat. Like, where's Commander? He's also a rookie. We could have been fellow rookies. And to my absolute surprise, I could hang, at least for a few minutes. I've never wrestled in school or anything. I was just feeling things out, asking myself what would Ric Flair do. And the fact that I was still going 1 minute into it made me think that maybe I'm not so bad. And then when I was still going 2 minutes into it, I started to think, Siraj is probably just letting me win. It's just a matter of time until... Yep, there we go.
Oh man, come on. Come on, man, come on!
After my match, we had a bit of time to cool down in the mud, which is typical.
He has 27 and he has 2 child.
And you're 27? Okay.
He said 30 is coming. On the way.
Boys, girls?
2 boys.
2 boys. Hello.
No, this is not son.
Oh, not so. No. Okay. The Pehlwani were absolutely fantastic people. As is the custom, we finished with a dip in the sacred Hooghly River, and this was an experience I'm not forgetting. After all that, it was brunch o'clock, and yeah, wrestling gets the appetite going, so good thing I'm a fan of Indian breakfasts. More chai, of course. Dosa. Where's the dosa? And milk toast. Well, this is gonna make me want to change the way I use the word milk toast, because milk toast is really good. I tend to think the secret to having a better experience when you travel and explore is going with the right combination of purpose and openness. Purpose is great. When you go in with a sense of what you're hoping to find in a trip, it provides direction, momentum, a target. And by purpose, I'm not talking about a whole rigid agenda. I just mean some awareness of the value you're seeking from this new experience, what it could add to your life, what it might add to your world. That purpose can be as simple as an insatiable curiosity around a certain place or phenomenon that you've just got to see up close. And then when you go in, at the same time, with a sense of openness, a willingness to get dirty, sometimes literally, and to say, hey, this wasn't on the schedule, but now that I'm here, I'm jumping in feet first, you get a balance of purpose and openness. And with this balance, you'll find yourself on some of the most surprising, memorable, and meaningful adventures. Can't wait till the next one.